I've owned three agencies. Agency one, if you looked at the bulk of our sales qualified lead opportunity creation, it came from organic content marketing. We did virtual events like big summits every quarter, and we did webinars every 2 weeks.
With AI, it's allowed businesses to scale at incredible speed, right? And scale. And that gives us all a really great jump start, whether you're starting a business or you're 5 years in.
Welcome to Outsource to Profits. I have a fantastic guest here. Laura, do you mind describing who you are, what you do, and how you serve the world?
I'm so happy to be here, first and foremost. And thank you so much for bringing such positive energy. So, a little bit about me, really. I think I'm just a builder and creator at heart, and I've had the opportunity to jump into building with a lot of amazing businesses, both in Canada and globally. So, I started making $5 an hour as a virtual assistant on Fiverr. And through that journey, have now created my own virtual assistant and human and AI kind of combination approach agency serving startups and entrepreneurs really like worldwide.
Fantastic. Well, we both have something in common. We've created agencies. We both believe in things such as offshoring, agentic human combination. Um, Today's topic is actually going to be about how to create business development using live events. And Laura, you are going to go into your story, your experience. When I started Get Levrg, so I've owned three agencies. Agency one, we created, if you looked at the bulk of our sales qualified lead opportunity creation, it came from organic content marketing. We did virtual events like big summits every quarter, and we did webinars every 2 weeks. In the 2010s, you could stuff the world full of webinars. We didn't do a lot of outbound then. In agency two, I over rotated and did an endless supply of outbound email and LinkedIn prospecting, not enough content marketing. I had a bit of a regret there. So when I started agency three, I wanted to create a lot of blend. One of the ways that in 2023, 24, and early 25, we did a live event in a new city every quarter. We brought people together, usually 30 to 50 founders. It was a fantastic way of getting the story going around cities. So with that, Laura, can you describe what have you found to be the successful recipe around live events, and why are you so bullish on them in an AI and a kind of a digital world?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think now with AI, it's allowed businesses to scale at incredible speed, right? And scale. And that gives us all a really great jump start, whether you're starting a business or you're 5 years in. But the thing is now, people are craving human connection more than ever and alignment on mission and trust just because of where we're at. And so that trust basis is such a huge lever that I think, people have been doing forever, right? We've been doing this since, I don't know, like ancient times, right? It's all about bartering, you're building relationships. And then from there, like once you have that established trust, you can really create anything together. And I don't think that's changed. It's just that these tools have now built on top of that foundation to allow us to grow faster and to do more. So now I think it's all about building those trust at those relationships. I think something amazing that you guys do doing events, not only are you doing building relationships with people to scale and to convert and have deals, you're also building a space and a community to have those really important conversations, which is driving momentum, having a place where you can create content, right? Which is also now a sales lever. But at the core of everything, it really goes back to the person, what they're looking to do. And if you guys are aligned, it really pushes that engine forward so much faster. So I think to sum it all up, it's really about how to build trust with people so it makes everything else after that so much faster to build.
So you've convinced a founder that they look at their marketing dollars, they look at the campaigns
Yeah.
they're running, they're willing to take a flyer. They said, you know what?
Yeah.
Let's do a regional event. Now, I would assume you're talking live event rather than virtual.
Yes.
So we're talking live event. Um, can we get really tactical? Let's open up the playbook. Can you walk the audience through, kind of like a process or a workflow? What would you do in steps and order of operations to get a live event off the ground?
I love that question because I think it really is about practicality, and sometimes so much like once we're used to that, building, we don't always talk about the practicality of it, but it's super important. And it's really, I think now, once you have that experience, using AI is a huge lever. So it's understanding who your ICP is, breaking it down, and using either, maybe you're using go to market tools from Clay to BitScale, other tools to help you find these people who have buyer intent. There's so many people who are looking for, our services, right? I'm sure plenty of people are maybe looking for you, and once you reach out to them, they're like, oh my God, this is perfect. I need to work with you. But it's all about finding those people. And I think starting out, when it comes to those events, it's understanding what type of events are those people going to, right? Are they going to maybe big summits like you mentioned, or are they going to just even like a Pilates class at like Altia, like a premium gym? That might be where those people are. And these people get 100 emails, right? But I think it's, yes, you should have the funnel where you understand your ICP, you map it out, you build it into whatever AI tool that you have, you create a list and you send out those emails, but then also understanding where are they in their startup journey? Are they looking to scale? Are they doing a bunch of events? And then meeting them where they're at. And then, of course, the rest of it just really following up. Resilience and persistence, and I think has paid off immensely in my business. I've had founders where they've said no maybe 2 or 3 times, and then maybe the next month, their business has this massive opportunity and they think of you again, from that either live event where they're like, this person has amazing energy. They're invested in my business. I also got an email from them and it converts. So I think the key steps is really understanding your ICP, leveraging AI to support the human expertise, and building that funnel for you to understand who your ICP is and send out personalized outreach, whether for a platform that works for you, and then integrating that human piece of maybe meeting them at an event, going to their studio, or even sending something just personal to them, like a cake. I think I actually got one of my clients from sending them like a custom logo, like blanket. So yeah, that's what's worked really well. And I've noticed working with businesses that are doing 100,000 a year or 1 million a year or 10 million, implementing these processes.
Now, is there any details around an event? I'll give you an example. So
Yeah.
when we run events, I found it was twice as much to do a dinner event than it was to do a lunch or a breakfast. Yet the number of people I can get to the event was the exact same. The number of conversions was the same. And that was because of alcohol costs. So if I
Yeah.
got 30 people in a room, it was just better business at scale to do them a breakfast or a lunch than a dinner.
Mhm.
I found the magic number was trying to get 30 people in a room where they could fit in one of those like private venue rooms. We
Mhm.
could sit around like a large boardroom table, break bread together. That was great
Yeah.
for what I found. What have you found has been the type of events you like to run?
Yeah, absolutely. So the events that I typically run are in premium venues that have like a similar alignment. So it might be I'm looking for clientele who are looking to grow their business, who prioritize just growth in all areas of their life. That might be Pilates. That might be purchasing, an asset that's going to help them grow long term. And so I partner with a community or a venue that has a very similar goal. So maybe like Porsche Pilates. And then we work to curate a room similar to you, right? I've also found that 30 to 40 space is really great because it's really, you can cultivate an intentional community who all have
Yeah.
similar goals with that versus when it
And you
gets
could probably
bigger.
get like, yeah, 3 to 5 sales qualified leads out of that. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
No.
And so from, I would say, you know, the types of rooms that we create are working with venues like Porsche Pilates or like a premium dinner space in downtown Toronto, like Akira Back. And when we create, and also we like to include experiences because it allows people to have kind of both personal conversations and business conversations that are honest and build that trust. And from those, I would say completely agree. We usually get about, I want to say 8 to 10 qualified leads and then 5 to 6 kind of converting. And then a lot of that doesn't even come from us. It does take a little bit of extra time to curate the rooms, finding those specific people and what their goals are and what industries they're in. But once they're in those rooms, it's not just we're working with them. It's we have created partnerships for them and value because of the people in those rooms. And now that's almost amplified the value that we've given from that event. And we're associated with the partners that are in the room as well.
Interesting. What kind of final advice would you have for an entrepreneur that's maybe sitting on the fence, thinking about live events? A, how would you push them over the edge? B, where should they start?
Yeah. Actually, I would love to toss the ball to you on this because I think this conversation has been amazing, and you guys have done a lot of work in outbound, but also succeeded on the live events front. And I'd love to hear kind of what your take is on this.
So I've used it to get to seven figures. So if you looked at our lead sources, I used it to get from 0 to 7 figures. Because the thing about live events is those live events revolved around driving people to meet with myself at a dinner table. I didn't have a scaled sales force that I could deploy. One person in Tampa Bay, one person in New York, one person in Toronto. So from getting, we'll call it from 5 figure to 6 figure, or 6 figure to 7 figure, is fantastic because the cost, if you think about it, your cost for a breakfast or lunch event, $2,000 to $3,000 for the venue and the food, plus travel costs. If you have a large enough lifetime value, your cost of customer acquisition is pretty cheap. The challenge, though, to get from 7 to 8 is it's a lot less scalable unless you're deploying your sales force to those regional events. So we have shifted more personally to more paid media, to more an outbound SDRs, but we might come back to it again as you become more cash flush. You might start deploying your sellers into these kind of like regionalized events. But that's how we've tackled it. Anyways, I'd love to know your thoughts.
Yeah, no, love that. And I completely agree that outbound is like a really key, still a super key channel into doing IRL as well. But yeah, as far as for businesses, I think hire and people, it's everything. So in addition to IRL, if you're nervous about hiring a business development representative because it looks like a full salary in this day and age, there's people who are passionate, who are looking for mission aligned companies that give them freedom over a salary. So hiring people to become part of your company to help with the sales levers, whether it's events or whether it's outbound or paid media, is huge. And yes, that training piece can be a big piece, but there's so many tools that can help with making training easier, from just recording videos. You're doing a task and there's a tool that can now record your process, right, while you're just doing it. And then you can fire it off to your BDR, right? So please find people. And then the other piece is just understanding what your mission and impact is. It sounds a little bit like, cliche, but at that point now, there's like so many brands and companies that I work with where they want somebody who's absolutely amazing in execution. At the same time, they're just looking for people also who are confident in what they're doing and aligned with where the company is going. And if you're able to connect with the businesses on that, it can give you a huge advantage in connecting with them to convert them. So I think understanding that piece, and also, and sorry, one more piece that you mentioned, as much as events are really great and cost effective, when you add that mission alignment piece, sometimes venues are open to giving you a better deal because they're partnering with you versus you buying something from them.
This has been fantastic. How do people get a hold of you if they want to learn more?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm on every platform from LinkedIn to Threads. Love connecting on just about anything, but mainly through LinkedIn. Um, my link is Laura WGX, and then on my website, if you're looking to outsource or you just need a little bit of help in your business, we're doing actually 4 to 5 complimentary assistance this month, and that's via enjoyva.com.
Fantastic. Well, it was a great pleasure meeting you, and thank you for being on Outsourced Profits.
Thank you so much, Jamie. This was awesome.
Thank you.